Areolar connective tissue, any place you have fat, you're gonna have areolar connective tissue supporting it, okay? And so on a slide, you look at it microscopically, it looks like hair with lice. So that's what it looks like. So these are the cells, okay? These are the cells, right? They look like the lice or the nits, right? And these are the fibers. So you got the big, thick collagen fibers and the thin, elastic fibers here. The big red cells are mast cells. You don't have to, I'm not gonna label anything, but this is what it looks like. Okay, that's what it looks like. So you can see all these different tissues are gonna look a lot different. Okay, adipose tissue, these are fat cells. It gives where we store our triglycerides, okay? This is gonna provide insulation like around organs, right? Like if you have renal adipose, right? You have it around the heart, okay? You have it in the skin, okay? So it's gonna insulate and protect our body, okay? It's also gonna give us some support, and we can use it as an energy reserve, because we can break down fat, right? Make ATP from that. And we do it in a process called beta oxidation, okay? So again, located around the kidneys, heart, yellow bone marrow. It's gonna be in the shaft of our bones, okay? And behind the eyeball, okay? This looks like bubbles. When you're looking at this, if you're looking at this under the microscope, it looks like bubbles, okay? So right here, this is the nucleus, actually. And you have, right, the plasma membrane. Nucleus, plasma membrane. Nucleus, plasma membrane. Okay, and this all, it shows it very, very white because it won't absorb the stain, right, because it's an oil, okay, because it's a lipid, okay? And you see here, right, you have some areolar connective tissue there. So this, right, looks a lot different than that, right? Right, that looks like thick, it looks like hair with lice, okay? And that looks like bubbles, okay? Particular connective tissue is gonna give us like a framework, okay, or some structure. It basically looks like a filter, it's like a filter. So you're gonna see this in the liver, right? Liver, it's gonna filter the blood. Spleen is the lymph node of the blood, lymph nodes, okay? They're gonna filter out our lymphatic fluid and our red bone marrow, okay? So it kind of looks like a fish filter there, okay? We make we make blood in red bone marrow, okay? In your fetal liver, you make blood too.
What do you say filters out?
What?
What did you say?
Any cellular debris, any damaged cells, any type of microorganism like bacteria, okay? We're gonna see when we do the lymphatic system, the lymph nodes, we have different types of white blood cells in those lymph nodes and plasma cells too. So when the fluid goes through, these cells clean everything up, okay? So when you get sick, your lymph nodes swell, okay? You should say, oh, your glands are swollen. They're not glands, they're nodes, okay? Right. So remember those old fish filters? You guys are kind of young. You just buy them now. The old fish filters, you had to put cotton in them and charcoal. So these are all the white blood cells in there. Okay, this is the matrix, so it kind of looks like cotton. But all the white blood cells, right? These are the black guys here. Okay, and these are just the nuclei here. Okay, so that right looks a lot different from that. It looks a lot different from that too, right? Okay. Whoops. Okay. This is dense regular connective tissue now. Okay. So you have dense connective tissue, you have dense regular, dense irregular, and elastic. Okay. Dense regular, okay, it's going to be pulled in one direction. Okay. So it's going to be our tendons. Okay, we're going to go over this again. Tendons attach muscle to bone. Ligaments attach bone to bone. And aponeurosis is a broad, flat tendon. Okay. So the muscle in your forehead here, okay, is called the frontalis muscle, and one in the back called the occipitalis muscle. Okay, what connects them, it's called the epicranium, right? Epi means above the cranium, aponeurosis. So when you go into the lab, you see the muscle guys sitting on there. The top is very, very silvery white. These are silvery white in color. Okay, right? I learned that everything was in Latin. It was called Gala aponeurotica. That's what it used to be called. Okay, so it looks like little waves. Okay, nice waves going here. All nice, even. Okay, they're all together. Okay, so they're in like a regular wave type pattern. Okay, and the big thick collagen fibers and the blues, the nuclei here. So it's going to get stretched. Okay, and then you can stretch those a little bit. Okay, Then we have dense irregular connective tissue. The best place to find this is the dermis of skin, the lower portion of the dermis of skin. The higher portion of the dermis you're gonna see is more elastic connective tissue, okay? And then the deeper it's gonna be dense irregular. So the skin will stretch, but it won't tear, it's very hard to tear, okay? So it's gonna be the dermis of skin. The pericardium's a sac that surrounds the heart, okay? The fluid-filled sac around the heart. Periosteum of bone, okay? It's a membrane around the bones where ligaments and tendons attach, okay? And our heart valves, This looks like marbling in tile, or this is like we get your marbling in meat and stuff, okay? So if you're looking at this real quick, okay? See the fibers? That's a fiber. So those fibers are going horizontally, that one's going vertically. These are going straight at you. Those are going straight at you. These are blood vessels here and here, okay? That looks like marble tile. So the pattern, it's an irregular pattern, it's all over the place, okay? So again, that looks a lot different than that, right? Right? So dense regular, nice regular pattern, dense irregular, okay? Dense irregular, okay? Does not have a regular pattern, okay? The last one is gonna be elastic connective tissue, okay? It looks very, very similar to dense regular, but the fibers are very thin, okay? All right? These can stretch to 150% and snap back to normal. Okay, this is going to be in the walls of the lungs. Every time you take a deep breath, right, you got to stretch because the air goes in and it rebounds back. Okay, elastic arteries are large arteries. They're the ones that come right off the heart and they branch off the aorta. Every time the heart beats, they have to stretch. Okay, all right, and bronchial tubes. Okay, so the air that so it gets into the lungs. Okay, so it provides stretch and strength. Okay, these guys look like little rubber bands with coils. Okay. Okay. So look at these here, right? They look like a coil. Okay, they look like almost like rubber bands that are loosened, or almost like a spring that's loosened here. Okay, so these guys will stretch and come right back. So that looks a lot different, right, than that. That looks a lot different than that. So they all look different. Okay, once you get used to looking at them. Okay. Okay. So now we're gonna go. Now we're gonna do the different types of cartilage. Cartilage is a type of connective tissue. So the different types of cartilage are gonna have different fibers from each other, different matrix from each other. Okay. So hyaline cartilage, this is important. Okay, hyaline cartilage is the most abundant, but it's the weakest. Okay, it's in two places. It's going to be at the end of long bones that make joints. Okay, so with two bones that come together, it's a joint. Okay, it's going to be a joint. With two bones come together, joint. Okay, that hyaline cartilage that's on those bones is called articular cartilage. So articular cartilage is hyaline cartilage. That's hyaline cartilage. Okay, articulation is a joint. Okay, so when you have arthritis, inflammation of the joint. Arthralgia. Myalgia means pain, right? Pain in the joint. Okay? And the rib cartilage. Okay? So when we look at the skeleton, you see the ribs, see the sternum, but in between the ribs and the sternum, it's a different color. That's costal cartilage. It's a type of hyaline cartilage. Okay? So if you damage that, okay, it's called costochondritis. People think they're having a heart attack. I like your hat. Called a bucket hat, right?
My son's hat.
Huh?
My son's hat.
Oh, no, it's talking to the guy in the back. That hat. A little fancy. But you have a very nice hat too.
Kinda have to say that now.
Huh? But
Kinda have to say that now.
my son's always had a hat. Always had a hat. Okay, good. And anywhere he goes, he buys a hat. He has, well, he has every baseball team's hat. Now he's got minor league baseball hats too. Yeah. Okay, so cartilage cells look like no other cells. These are huge, fat, happy cells. Look how happy these are. Look how happy they are. Okay, these are cartilage cells. Those are cartilage cells. Okay, all right. So this is actually fetal bone. So your bones are basically cartilage, and then they get hard. Okay, and we show how we do bone growth and all. We'll We'll show you how that works, okay? Okay. All right, next one is fibrocartilage. So it tells you, look, fibrocartilage. You got thick fibers, it's gonna be for strength. Okay? This is gonna be in our intervertebral discs, those are in between the vertebrae, those little discs there. Your pubic symphysis in between your two pubic bones, right, in the front. And the meniscus in your knee. So you have the medial and lateral meniscus in each knee. Okay? So if you get like a type of shearing force with it, you can tear the meniscus. Then have a meniscus that's holding up your whole weight of your body. So these are actually it's a very mobile joint, but very unstable joint. Okay? Right? And that's what it looks like. So look how thick these fibers are. These are the cells. But look at here. Okay, they're called chondrocytes, cartilage cells. Look how thick this is compared to these here. Okay? All right. The last one's going to be elastic cartilage. So what are you going to have in that? You have more elastic fibers, right? More elastic fibers. You have more elastic connective tissue in there. Okay? So this is going to be, right, the external ear. It's called the auricle of the ear, right? It'll stretch, right? If your moms ever get pissed off at you, grab you by the ear and pull you, oh no, you guys are too young. You don't get that. That's right. You guys are the generation of timeout. You're naughty. Go to timeout. Get in your bedroom with a 32-inch, a 50-inch flat screen TV, iPads, iPods, all this music, right, and stuff. What YouTube, TikTok, whatever the hell, right? Let me tell you, TikTok is not news. Well, the news is fake news anyway. I agree with that. Most of the news, they only tell you what they want you to hear. Okay. So I know what I do. I listen to BBC. I listen to all the news. So I pick and choose. But am I right? You know what timeout was called when I was a little kid? It was called knockout. That's what it was called. Yeah. So we're over at the family night. We're having Sunday dinner, right? And we're at my mother's father's house. My grandfather. He was the Irish grandpa. Okay. So he was very, very strict, especially when it came to eating. So you ate and you didn't talk. You adults got to talk, but the kids, you had to sit up. You had to eat like very militaristic. Okay. My grandfather's, I got along great with him. Nobody else did. But this is how it went in his life. It was Jesus, Irish people, and the New York Giants. In that order. Family was after scotch and beer. But anyway, so he'd go to have football, and my grandmother would have to have dinner on the table hot. No microwaves in those days. On the table hot at halftime. Right? Now that the roast is getting dried out, and his whistle's going off, and my grandmother's having a nervous breakdown. Because he could flip out at any time. Okay, so anyway, so we're sitting there at the head of the table. So I'm here, my mother's here, my aunt's here, and my cousin EJ's right there. I'm 3 months older than my cousin EJ. Okay, we're probably real close, right? So we're looking at each other, right? I'm looking at him, and we're making faces at each other and laughing. Now I look, I see my grandfather get more pissed off. He's getting more and more pissed off. We don't care. I think we're like 7, 8, right? Like this. And I'm doing it, and we got no warning. My mother's like, yeah, it's supposed to rain. It's a flock. And I'm like this. I kind of come to it and look. And my cousin's rubbing his face. He's got like people. His mother 5-starred him. And my Aunt Sharon 5-starred him. He's like rubbing his face. Like, no warning. I was in the store the other day, right? This kid's going back. Ed didn't stop. Ed didn't stop. Ed didn't stop. And I go, Ed didn't knock it off. Like, now I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. Yeah. I never really yelled at my kids. I yelled, but I never hit my kids. I didn't have to. You know what I did? It was so easy. I used to go like this, right? I used to go like this. Oh, can I grab you something? Oh, you're bad? Oh, here's your stuff. I should take all the electronic devices. My daughter would go on her knees and just yell, no! Like I'm taking a kidney. Yeah. To this day. I told you, you get in the car. She's grabbing the wires. I have 95%. 94%. Yeah. In Disney, she was born on them days. Oh my God, it was insane. Like, Juliana, you're in Disney. You're in the most happiest place in the friggin' world. Who cares about your cell phone? I didn't even know where mine was. Like on vacation, suitcase. I'm in Florida. Somebody dies, you're still gonna be dead, right? When I get home, right? What can I do in Florida? What can I do? Right? Now, the eustachian tubes, these are the tubes in the ear. Sometimes you have auditory tubes, all the same thing, okay? They are going to drain the fluid in your ear, okay, and relieve pressure. Okay? So, little kids get earaches all the time, right? Like, you hear that? When was the last time you heard an adult get an earache? Very rare. Because when you're a little kid, your eustachian tubes are horizontal. Okay, fluid could back up in it. Fluid, right, anytime it's warm and moist, great place for bacterial growth, right, or microorganism growth. But as you grow, they tip, and that's why they drink. They drink. So if the kids are having an earache or problem, they'll put artificial tubes in, okay? It'll drain. When the kids don't need them anymore, the body rejects them. They go, something in my ear, they pull it out, this little tube. Yeah, so it's actually pretty cool. And your epiglottis. Epiglottis is a little flap that flaps over your trachea every time you swallow, okay? Now look at this here. These are the elastic fibers. This isn't really a good picture. I have better slides and you can see the elastic fibers more. You can see the elastic fibers more. But the cartilage cells are big. The cartilage cells, you can never really make a mistake with those because they're such big cells. Okay? All right, these are other types of connective tissue, but we're not going to do it here. We're going to do it when we do, like, for example, when we do blood. Okay, the blood chapter, chapter 19, we'll go over all the types of blood. Okay, all right. So blood's made up of plasma. Okay, about 55% plasma. The other 45% is our formed elements. These are the cells that are floating in that. 92% of the plasma is actually water. Okay, the other 8% is mostly proteins, plasma proteins. Okay. We have 4.8, don't worry about this, I'll go over. We have 4.8 to 5.4 million red blood cells. That's why blood's red, okay? We have between 5 and 10,000 white blood cells, okay? If you have if you have a 30,000 white blood cell count, right, you probably have an infection somewhere, you gotta look at that. And we have between 150 and 400,000 platelets per unit of blood, okay? In our lymph, okay, lymphatic fluid is mostly fat, right, it's lipids, okay? We're gonna have our lymphocytes in there. Our T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. These are a type of white blood cell, and of course you have your other white blood cells in it too. Okay? Right? So of course this isn't the scale. Red blood cells are real small, but red blood cells, they look like little pink Cheerios on our microscopes here. This is 1,230 times. Ours is only 400 times. But they don't have holes in them. They're just dimpled on both sides. They're biconcave. They do not have a nucleus. Okay, so they only last 120 days. You get new ones. Okay, so when you're looking at the blood slides, on your focal field of view, when you're zooming through, you're going to see all red blood cells. Okay, you might see a couple little cell fragments every now and again. These are platelets. Okay, so platelets break apart into like 200 pieces and then a couple clot blood. White blood cells, you don't have a lot. So you might go through your whole slide and maybe see a couple. You might see one, might see two in each slide. Okay, unless you have an infection. Okay, these are big cells. These are real big. Okay. All right. Bone is type of connective tissue. We're going to go over this when we do bone tissue. Okay. We do the bone tissue. Okay. So it's going to provide support like our skeleton and protection. Right. Skull protects the brain. The ribs and sternum protect the internal organs. Right? The vertebral column protects the spinal cord. Okay. That's what it looks like. These aren't cracks in the bone. Remember, bone's hard. Okay. It's got a lot of calcium in it. It's got a lot of fluoride in it. Okay? But what it is these little things here, okay, these are called a lacuna, okay? It means a little lake. This is where the osteocytes are. Now, how do we get, and right here is going to be the Haversian canal syndrome, okay? So the blood's here, right? So you got a blood vessel here, blood vessel here. So you get a blood vessel forms, and you start building bone around it. And then it goes down, then another one, then another one. So it's that Haversian system, okay? It's the structural unit of the bone. So now from the blood, how do we get nutrients and oxygen to these cells? Well, you got these little cracks. They're called little canals. It's called a canal-culi. So canal-culi drain into a lacuna, which is a little lake. Okay, so we'll go over that. Fat, right? We go at basically it's everywhere. So okay, it's going to be for insulation and protection. Okay, all right. And now we have membranes. So membranes are epithelial tissue supported by the underlying connective tissue. This makes contact with our external environment, okay? So, mucous membranes. Mucous membranes make contact with the external environment. There's going to be, right, your eyes, your nose, your ears, your mouth, anus, vagina, okay? Serous membranes are not open to the external environment, okay? They're going to have like a capsule. So the pleural sacs around each of our lungs and the pericardium around our heart, okay? Okay. And this is the GI tract. Okay, I don't know why it's small. Cutaneous membrane, right, that's your skin, so your skin's, right, open to the external environment. And then synovial membranes are our joints. We're gonna go over these when we do joints. Okay, we're gonna do these little
Are
joints.
there more or is it just the skin?
I'm sorry,
Are there more or is it just the skin?
what's that?
The.
Cutaneous means skin, yeah, it's skin.
Only the skin.
Mm-hmm. But it's part of integumentary, says you do have hair and nails. But they're here, we're talking about skin. Okay? That's one of your first lines of defenses, right? Skin and mucous membranes. But how do you not get sick? Keep the organism out of your body. Okay? We're gonna go with your skin, we'll go over burns. Burns are very, very dangerous because you have one big open wound. Okay? We're gonna go over the different types of bacteria and stuff that affects you. That's dangerous. Like Pseudomonas aeruginosa, it's on the outside of your skin. It's always there. Lives there, it's fine. Gets in your body, it's incredibly dangerous. It'll kill you. Yeah. We'll go over that. Okay? All right, so this is skin, right? So integumentary system is skin, hair, and nails. We're gonna do that next chapter. Okay? Am I in your way, Faylene? Am I in your way? Just throw something at me. Okay, so right here, the upper part is, right, well, the main part of skin is the dermis. Dermis means skin. The top part is called the epidermis. Epi means above. It's gonna be epithelial tissue, okay? And the lower portion here is the hypodermis, right, under the dermis, or subcutaneous, right, under the cutaneous region, right, which is skin, okay? These, skin is gonna have all our tissue, and that's gonna be the first organ we're gonna go over, okay? Right, organs, a bunch of tissues, okay? This here's a joint, so it has to be a finger joint. So look at this. So the joints in the books are usually represented as like this light blue color here, okay? So this here is articular cartilage, which is a type of hyaline cartilage, and it makes a joint capsule. This is all your ligaments, okay, and your tendons make that joint capsule. Inside here, you have synovial fluid. It's very viscous or oily. It keeps it lubricated. It keeps us from grinding, okay? Okay, and here's all the cells right here, okay? Look at the fibers in there, all right? Okay, muscle tissue we will do when we do muscular system, okay, and we do muscle physiology and stuff. So there's three types of muscle tissue, okay? Skeletal muscle is considered striated, so it's got contractile elements. So they slide on each other and the muscle shortens, okay? It is voluntary, okay, meaning that you can control skeletal muscle. I wanna move my arms up and down, I move them up and down. I wanna stop, I stop, okay? Cardiac muscle, okay, is also striated. So when they slide, they contract. So when it contracts, it squeezes blood or pumps blood out of the heart and into the blood vessels, okay? All right? The heart is involuntary, meaning you can't control your heart. Okay? You can't stop your heart naturally, okay? And then smooth muscle, okay, does not have any striations. So it doesn't contract. It kind of goes in a wave-type motion. This is your digestive tract. When you swallow food, okay, you don't have to worry about it going through and getting digested, okay? It autonomically does that. Okay, it automatically does that, okay? All right? Okay, this one, baby. Head up. This is right skeletal muscle. See the striations here? That's what it looks like on a microscope. It's pretty cool. Okay. This is cardiac muscle. Again, you can see the striations. Notice what's cool about cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle is autorhythmic. It gives itself its own electrical impulse. Okay, so we'll see that with the heart. Okay, and then the heart also is synergistic. So if you took two pieces of heart tissue, put in a petri dish of water, and you stimulate it, right? You electrocute a little bit, the muscles will contract. Okay, they'll contract independently until they touch. Then they'll contract together. It's actually pretty cool. And we would categorize that differently. And that's smooth muscle. See, there's no striations there. No striations there. Okay, the last type of tissue is nervous tissue. We'll do that when we do neurology. Okay, so the neurons produce the electrical impulse. We call those action potentials, okay? The neuroglia cells are for support. So it means glue, it means nerve glue. It's like a spider web around the nerves. So if you're looking at this, look, this here is, this is a motor neuron. This is gonna, if I wanna go pick up something like that, my motor neurons are firing to do that into my muscle, okay? So this is the cell body or soma. These are the dendrites. That's the long axon. Axons can be 3 feet long, like in your sciatic nerve going down your leg, okay? You see all the spider web stuff around here? That's the neuroglia cells supporting, okay? That's just for that chapter, so we could start skin. We're right where we need to be, a little ahead. So, skin, I just wanna go over the different diseases. I don't test you on it, but this is the first organ we're going over. Whoops, right. The first organ we're doing is skin, okay? And I always like to go over the diseases first. I don't test you on it, but it's good for you to know why it's important while we're going over this stuff. Okay, right, so this is the, chapter 5, the integumentary system. This is the first organ we're going over, okay? The integumentary system consists of our skin, our hair, and our nails. Skin, hair, and nails, okay? Skin is gonna be our largest organ, okay, our largest organ, and it's gonna be the only organ that's visible, that we can see, right? So everything else is on the inside, okay? It weighs between 10 and 11 pounds in adults, okay? And if you laid out someone's skin, depending how big they are, but averagely, it covers about 22 square feet, okay? Some people I know are a total waste of skin. Come to a faculty meeting. Can you guys have to go to work, go to meetings? You always get the one or two friggin' people that think they have to ask a question, right? And you're almost done. You're done, and they go, we're done, we're leaving. Any questions? And the same pain in the ass, I have a question, I'll talk for another 20 minutes, right? And this one guy, he's a nice guy, but honestly, he's like 24 years of this shit, right? So one time they were trying to get another class or program or certification. It was in biology. And it was a useless class to take because it didn't transfer. Okay, if it doesn't transfer, then don't offer it, because it's a waste of time for the kids and a waste of money, okay? So the thing was, and the reason why they were doing this, we had a new faculty member coming in, and the old faculty member didn't do shit for like 30 years. So he didn't get promoted to full professor. He had a heart attack, I actually diagnosed it. He had a heart attack, okay? And the older faculty members were like, well, let's promote him to full professor so he gets that with the pension. So they turned someone down that was incredibly good, that should have gotten over me that year, okay? But I got full, she did not, because of this guy, and I was pissed, okay? I thought she was gonna get over me too. Well, anyway, so that was Dr. Davis, she's fantastic. She got, next year she got, it was like overwhelmed, she was #1 pick. So anyway, this left my train of thought. No, I was just thinking, I wonder what my wife made me for lunch, I'm starving. But so anyway, so they did this, so he had to get promoted, so they sent him up for promotion, and the president of college vetoed it, and he can't do, he goes, I'm not promoting this guy, he didn't do shit in 30 years. What does he do, right? So now he has to do something. So the younger guy did all the work, and this guy didn't do anything. So they're coming in, and the thing was, okay, so what's this class gonna do? And he says, well, it's gonna make students better biology students. I gotta take biology. Biology 1, biology 2, friggin' move on. They make it take a pre-chemistry class. I'm like, why? Why? Let them take Chem 1. Well, what if they fail? Then they fail, they take it over, right? You sink or swim. When I was in school, it was like, you took biology 1 and Chem 1 first semester, second semester, bio 2, Chem 2. Then you had to take your Englishes and your histories, the bullshit classes they make you take too, okay? So we did. So anyway, so he's there, and this one guy is in the back, and he teaches computers. It's got nothing to do with biology. He goes, excuse me, how many credits is that again for him? I said, so how many hours a week? It's 3 credits, it's 3 hours, right? So finally I turn, I go, dude, we're not getting tested on this. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. I gotta go to another job. You know, I gotta go. And it was teaching or I had my practices already. So yeah, complete waste of skin. All right. So the study of skin, okay, and the study of the pathologies and the treatment of those pathologies of skin is going, diagnosis of those pathologies is going to be called dermatology. So you go to a dermatologist if you have a skin problem. Okay? So again, no organ, right, in the body is more easily inspected or exposed to injury or infection than your skin. Okay? Because it's going to be on the outside of your body. Okay? It was so funny, the older faculty member, we had a big division meeting, and so the dean at the time said, oh, there's a new new class that we're setting up, and he's like, Dr. Lynn, why don't you come up and explain what it is? The guy had no clue what it was, because he didn't do shit on it. The younger faculty member did everything, he was getting credit for it. Yeah, and the younger faculty member was late for everything. He was like, he didn't know where, he was looking all, when he first started, he was so discombobulated, so, he still is, that's what makes him lovable. But yeah, but he had no clue. And he even said, the older guy gets, he goes, well, maybe we should ask Ken, he'd explain it better. So someone goes, aren't you a college professor for 30 years, you can't explain what your own class is? They really don't. Yeah. Okay, so it can be, and the guy I'm talking about, I shared an office with him for like 10 years, he was so funny. I just loved him. I thought he was funny as hell. I was brand new, I shared an office with two other professors. One was a right-wing conservative Republican. This other guy was a hippie from the 60s. And this was, and I'm on the phone with the president, I'm like, so I was head of the judicial board as a chair, I'm like, guys, I'm on the phone with the president. I had such a good time at that office. And I would start stuff just to get them fighting. Huh?
You're a troublemaker.
All right, so the new phones we got had different ringers, and one of the ringtones was someone going, are you there? Are you there? Are you there? So we put it on his phone. So, you know, Professor Tator and Dr. Matrano, I shared an office with them now, they kept calling him. So we go, are you there? Are you there? And he didn't know what it means, so this guy didn't know what it was. He's like, what is that noise? And I'm like, what noise? I don't hear anything, right? And so he kept doing it, and he had like 40 phone call messages, right? So I'm doing my stuff, I come in, I'm running, right? I came from the office, I came here, right? I'm sitting there, Professor Hyler was in the office with us. And he calls him, and are you there? Are you? So I remember, so I look, he's got a big smile, and the guy's like, I hear this, where's this from? So he saw the number, and he hit the button to redial, and Hylie's phone rings. I'm laughing, and he goes, you got nothing better to do? I go, absolutely not, really. And he goes, I go, I swear to God it wasn't us. And his response was, yes, two assholes in the next office, right? And you can hear them laughing at him. And this is like, and we all have like doctorates, it's just funny. Yeah, I still like little kids. Are you there? I should do that. You know what I should do to him? This is funny, that's probably what gave him the heart attack, I should feel bad. So what he had all his notes all over the place. It looked like a bomb went off. So I took, and he goes, so I took colored sand, right? Now you make colored sand art. So my wife says, I took some colored sand, I sprinkled it all over his stuff, right? He goes, what's this red shit all over my stuff? He wiped it off, and I do it for like 2 days, right? Then like the next 2 days, I put like green on it, right? And then I put like black on it, or he's like, what the hell is this shit? Like, it's the vents, I'm gonna die again. Like, he's looking around at the vents, he's calling the buildings the grounds, or checking out the vents. I'm saying, I'm not gonna lose my job, right? But I did it for like 2 months. And then finally, I put my bag down, I was looking, he goes, this is sand? He goes, you son of a, and he starts yelling at me. All right. You ever see the old Addams Family? The guy, Uncle Fester, that was him. That's what he looked like. And he talked like it too. All right. So this guy, and I gotta tell you, he wanted to be a virologist, like studying viruses. This guy knew his shit. He couldn't do his PhD, so he went into environmental science because his advisor, they don't call it advisor. Yeah, I guess it would be your doctorate advisor. That professor he had, so he could do his dissertation. The guy lost, the guy was in his 70s. He took off with his 21-year-old lab assistant. So he took off and left his wife, and then went his advisor. So he had to go to another advisor, and yeah, he went to Miami University. Yeah. So, all right. So the skin can be damaged from trauma, okay, sunlight, okay, microorganisms and pollutants. So we'll go over those. I'm not going to test you on this, okay? We're just going to test you on the anatomy and physiology of the skin. It's not a pathology class, but it's good that you know this, okay? So trauma would be an abrasion. Abrasion is like a scrape. So you're running and you fall and you scrape your knees and elbows, okay, on the road. Okay, or a laceration. A laceration, like you cut yourself on something jagged. An incision would be like a scalpel. Okay, it's nice and precise. Okay, this should be together. That's one word. But ultraviolet radiation from the sun, like a sunburn, Okay, in this chapter, we'll go over the different types of burns, and we'll go over the rules of nines. That's how we see how much percentage the body is burned. Okay, you can do it very, very quickly. Okay? Right, bacteria infections. Okay, so Streptococcus pyogenes, this is scarlet fever. So the kids have a rash on their chest, and it looks like a strawberry tongue they have, okay? If you're looking at this, anyone taking micro yet? Usually take it after this class, but some people take it both. So if you have a strep infection, okay? So, well, first of all, a cocci is around bacteria, okay? Cocci is round, bacillus looks like that, like a rod, okay? If it's streptococcus, it looks like this under the microscope. It looks like a chain. Okay, it looks like a chain. Okay. If it's a staphylococcus infection, right? I'm running out of ink here. It looks like grapes. It's a cluster. So if you have a cluster of round bacteria, you know it's staphylococcus. Okay. If it looks like a chain of round bacteria, okay, you know it's streptococcus. Okay. All right. So Staphylococcus aureus is actually a pretty cool organism, okay? AU is, on the periodic chart is the symbol for gold, okay? It means aureus, okay? It means bright, okay? It's Latin. So if you have, is that irritating? Okay. So if you have a round bacteria, it's got like a little halo, a gold halo around it. It's pretty cool, okay? So Streptococcus aureus, okay? This little kid's case, this was scalded skin syndrome. So the little kid, right, they grab everything, right? So they put like a hot cup of coffee or tea or water, they grab it, and they get burned. We'll show you what that looks like, this chapter, okay? And what you gotta do is you gotta scrape that dead skin off, okay? Or you can get bad bacterial infections. They're very, very painful, okay? You gotta be careful with burns, okay? Pseudomonas aeruginosa, okay, this is in burn victims. Okay, when they get charred, okay, you gotta scrape that dead skin off, that burnt skin off. Okay, very, very painful. I had a rule, does anybody here know anybody got badly burnt? Usually it's always somebody that knows. Who got burned?
My friend.
How do you do it?
I don't remember how she did it. I know her whole arm is like.
Yeah, she probably did grab something off the stove. Anybody else? Who got burned? How'd you get burned? All right, yeah. So, you know, and kids are inquisitive. They're sitting on the stove. Let's see what it is. They pull a pot down on it. Splashes all over. I knew people that she's still alive. You know, as a babe, she did that, and the mother was boiling oil. It cooks you. Okay, that's why they tell you to put it under cold water. Okay, anybody cook here? If you want to blanch it, like say you're cooking, you're cooking like lobster or something, and you don't want to cook it all the way because it's going to go in the oven. You're going to make something up. You take it, you put it in the water. Because you take it out of that, it's still hot, still cooking, okay? And she got burnt, her face and all down her chest and stomach. To this day, she had scars. Scars, very, 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 very disfiguring. Even today, in my house, when especially when the kids were small, we had a rule. And the thing is, accidents happen, that's why we call them accidents, it's nobody's fault. But you try to prevent the accidents, right? So in my house, if there was something on the stove, the kids did not need to be in the kitchen. Screw around. I got a big piece of property. We got other rooms. Go play in the traffic. Okay, get out of the kitchen. Okay, and this was like the kids were home a couple weeks ago. They're both home. Like, you guys are over 20. Get out of my house, right? But they were there, and you know, my son's walking by, and my daughter's smacks him in the back of the head, right? Just because she's gonna smack him in the back. So he goes and he gives her a push. Okay, and my wife and I go, get out of the kitchen. What if you hit the stove? You know. One time they hit the stove. They broke the friggin' stove. They broke the handle off the stove. So for like 2 years, I don't handle on the stove. There you go, there's a brand new stove. You break the stove and oven, I'm killing both of you, and there goes college. Yeah, there goes college. Okay, so these are bacteria. Okay, again, we joke and all, but very, very important. This is why when burn victims, right, the staff comes in, they wear full suits. Okay, you gotta keep it very, very clean in there, okay, so you don't get infection. Okay, the viruses. The varicella zoster virus, it's a type of herpes virus. The sexually transmitted herpes is the herpes simplex. Simplex 1, simplex 2, that's sexually transmittable. Okay, this year is the varicella zoster. This is chickenpox. Okay, this is just a natural childhood disease. It's one of the 5 childhood diseases. But what happens is, Once you get chickenpox, that virus could stay in your nerves, okay, dermatomes, they call it, okay? And it lays dormant and nothing happens. Unless you get real run down, then it comes out, it's called shingles, it usually follows a dermatome. Very painful. Right, usually don't get it again, you become immune to it. Yeah, now they have the vaccine and stuff, though. What they used to have when I was a kid, it's like, and it usually goes, it's elementary school age. Every year, my wife's class broke out with chickenpox. My wife was never diagnosed as a kid with chickenpox. When she was pregnant with her first baby, they go, have you ever had chickenpox? And she goes, no. Chickenpox to a pregnant lady, very dangerous. It can cause encephalitis to the kid, the brain swells, okay? So what they do is they check you for the titer. The virus is too small. So they check you for the titer. That means that you had it. That's an antibody. That means you had it. When they checked her, she had the titer, so she was fine. She didn't have to be quarantined. So she may have had, they think, when her brothers are like 6 and 7 years older than her, she may have had a small case when they got it, because she was an infant and the parents just didn't detect it, or she got it naturally. She got natural herd immunity from her class, because every year the kids broke out with chickenpox and she never got it. So you think she might have built up an immunity to it, and she was exposed when she didn't get sick. Okay? Once you get it, so what they would do is, if one kid in the class or a couple of kids got chickenpox, the parents would have a chickenpox party. So all the kids would come out, sadistic shit, right? The parents would have, the kids have a party. So every kid would get it, and then it would be done within school. Yeah, that's something, yeah. You know the little cartoon South Park? Okay, well, there was an episode, my brother calls me, but you gotta watch this, he sends it to me, right? So the little kid Stan or whatever, he got chickenpox, right? And he got sick, he got a fever, he got very, very itchy and all, and very uncomfortable, for like a week to 10 days. So the parents, since Stan got chickenpox, they brought their kids over to Stan's house to play with him, and they all got sick, they all got chickenpox. And then, so they're on the phone with the doctor, and it says, yeah, it's a type of herpes virus, right? So the kids get mad. So they go and they break their piggy banks and they pull all their money together and they hire a prostitute to use all the parents' toothbrushes, and all the parents got herpes simplex 1. Yeah, but they used to have a chickenpox party. Shingles shingles very painful, especially it goes around the eye, cause eye damage. Okay. As a chiropractor, people come in and have really bad back pain. I check the back, there's nothing wrong with your back. I said, maybe something else, go back to your medical doctor. I said, but your back's fine. Like, wait, tell me you don't have pants? I'm not telling you you don't have pants, I'm telling you there's nothing wrong with your back. Next day they wake up, they got the rash. They go, I got this rash. And he goes, I go, what does it look like? He goes, rash right around my torso. I go, you got shingles, go to your medical doctor. Yeah. Yep. You got a fungal infection, okay? So, fungus invades a characterized tissue. Okay, we're gonna see this, we do skin. The keratin is a waterproof protein, okay? It's a waterproof protein, it protects us, okay? So, it's called dermatophytes, okay? So, dermatomycosis is a fungal infection. So, if you're a mycologist, right, Dr. Kill, he's someone that studies different molds and funguses, okay? Derma means skin, okay? So, people usually get, right, in locker rooms, we gotta show, in locker rooms, like public locker rooms, what are they? They're steamy, okay? So anything that's hot and moist could cause bacterial growth. So the old showers and all, they had, in tubs, they were tile floors. So when you put a tile, a little space in between where the grout is, right? When you mop that, you gotta scrub in between. If not, the mop goes right over it, great place for fungus to grow. If you see the newer bathrooms now, the floor is porous, so it's even. It's even. You easily clean it better. It's easier to clean. Okay, so the condition is Tinea pedis. It's athlete's foot. Okay, it's a fungus of the foot. Okay, you get cradle cap. The kids have, it's called a Tinea capitis. Okay, little babies get that. Okay. The two organisms that cause that is epidermal patent flocosum and trichophyton rubrum. These are the two organisms that have caused athlete's foot. So that tenactin spray, that's an antifungal drug. Okay, antifungal drug. So somebody walks in with the fungus on their feet in a shower, the next person goes in it, get it. Okay, you get it. Okay. This is why public showers always wear the shower slippers, shower flip-flops, okay? But then again, when I was in school, you just see some of the flip-flops these guys had. I'd walk in the shower before I put on their flip-flops, they were so filthy. you know? Okay, different pollutants, it could be, just natural. Poison ivy, right, your sumacs, the sumacs, poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac. Okay, Toxidodendron radicans, it causes a contact dermatitis. The oil in the sumacs gets on your skin and it bubbles it up. You scratch and break those blisters, that spreads the oil more. Most of the time it happens when you're in the shower. You're showering, right, it breaks it, it's the oil, it's not gonna come off, and then it spreads. Okay, if your dog or cat runs through the plants, like, you know, get the oil on their fur, you pet them, you can get it. Okay, you can't get it from person to person, okay? If you get on your clothes, like say you get on a shirt, you hang up that shirt, right? Yeah, I'm sure it's not dirty, hang it up, right? Next season, you put that shirt on, it could still be active, you still get it. It's illegal to burn poison ivy, poison oak. People would burn it, you should burn their leaves to get rid of them. The smoke, the oil would be in the smoke. People that are allergic to it get in their eyes, get in their nose passageways, okay? Very dangerous, okay? And some people aren't allergic to it at all. I'm definitely allergic to it. I get it every friggin' year in the summer. It's like, I like working on my lawn. The grandfather that liked the Giants, he was not allergic to it. He'd be out in sneakers with no socks, just a pair of shorts, no shirt, and he'd be ripping the vines down. I'd be a half hour away, a mile away with binoculars or walkie-talkie. You missed some, Pops, you know. Man, he wasn't allergic to it. Okay, cheap jewelry, Charm and Charlie's, cheap jewelry, okay? Chromium, nickel. You know, some of these places are coming overseas, they put lead in it. They put lead in it, you gotta watch, okay? Especially, you know, piercings, okay? Belt buckles, so like people, I forget what you call it, crop top, belly shot? Yeah, so sometimes like, the belt will rub on the belly and you can get contact dermatitis with that. So you really gotta watch your cheap jewelry. First of all, it's gonna turn your skin green. If you know it's turning you green, it's not real. So go with silver, platinum, surgical stainless steel. I'm a big advocate, if you're gonna get your kids' ears or something pierced, go to a pediatrician, they'll do it. They'll do it. And it'll give you surgical stainless steel piercings. It's not gonna cause an infection, okay? All right, we are gonna stop here, and we'll go over to different things with skin next week, and we'll finish skin next week, okay? So we are definitely ahead. Who's got lab there? We'll see you guys in lab. We're gonna do, talk about active and passive transport. The lab is modified, with a lack of time. Let me go through attendance again. Isabella, come in. Taylor Hall.